You turned it on right then? Right when I was uttering the Lord's name in vain? There goes my hardcore right-wing Christian audience. They support this, whatever you would refer to this. Is it a cast? Are we on? We're on. Okay, we're on. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Edge's Facebook page's #1 show. At this particular time, 3 to 5 things we didn't have time to talk about today. I am your host, Fred Kennedy, and I would like to thank Corey's Clothiers, 569 Danforth Avenue, for sponsoring the show. Providing me with these lovely shoes, and these sweet socks, and these jeans, and this shirt, and this wonderful sports coat. Oh, what's in my pocket? Oh, marijuana. We don't want to show you that. Look at this. Keys. Woo! Pockets, pockets, pockets. I can hide things everywhere. Corey's Clothiers, 569 Danforth Avenue. First up, Facebook is dying. Well, not really. But they have seen a 3.6% decrease in teens. And given the amount of people that are on Facebook, that's probably like 300 million people that are teenagers are no longer using Facebook. Why are teenagers no longer using Facebook, you ask? I'll tell you why. Because their parents are also using Facebook. Their parents probably started dating because of Facebook. That's how old Facebook is. Actually, no, their parents probably met on like Nexopia or MySpace. You remember anybody in Nexopia? Nope. MySpace was also, I liked MySpace better than Facebook. Can I just say, I liked it better. You know why? You had the old top 8 there. Oh, who are my top 8 friends? You better earn your keep to get to that top 8 space, buddy. And you knew you made it. You knew you were somebody's friend when you were in their top 8. You could put your favorite songs on the front there. Oh, look at me, I know cool things. And everybody would swing their dicks around and try and outdo everybody about who having cooler stuff. You could modify the background. It was just better. MySpace was just better than Facebook. And to this day, I don't understand how Facebook is winning. Facebook is where my mom goes. My mom is on, like, that's why teenagers don't go there. Their parents are on there cheating on each other using Facebook to hook up with each other. That's why their teenagers don't go on Facebook anymore. And then their moms are like, hey, love the outfit, girl. Like, trying to be cool. And it's like, Mom, no. Want to play Farmville? Here's the thing. I thought Farmville was gone. I thought Candy Crush and Farmville were gone until 2 days ago. One of my friends requested Farmville something. You know what happened to that friend? They're gone. I don't take Farmville requests for anybody. Also, if you post a meme with minions on it, you're done. You're dead to me. That's why teenagers aren't on there. They don't want to see minion memes. Someone just called me normal. I've never been so insulted in my whole life. Oh. Could you just leave that up there for a second? I want you to soak in that one. I want you to take a nice little bubbly bath in that picture. Oh, you've probably got... Madison, your mom posted that meme, didn't she?
Probably.
Is your mom on Facebook?
Yep.
Madison's mother is also on Facebook. Moving on. Okay. This stuff drives me crazy because people are like, that's so cute, it's so funny, but it's terrible. A woman in New York who didn't have any children, whose husband passed away earlier, just died yesterday, and left a trust fund of $300,000 to her cats. $300,000 being left to her cats. It angers me because everyone's like, oh my God, that's so nice. She loves her cats so much. But no, what it's saying is, what about the nurses that were looking? This woman was in her late 90s. In a long-term care facility. What about the nurses that were looking after her, keeping her alive? The orderlies that were changing her diapers? All these people that were doing these things for her. They get nothing. Nothing. She probably told someone, like, they were going to get something. They were so nice. Yeah. Instead, she leaves it all to her cats. And what about all the charities, man? I get so irritated when I see people leaving lots of money to their pets. It's dumb. I'm sorry. There should be some sort of rule in the courts where if somebody leaves like more than the costs it will take to look after a pet to a pet, they can strike it down and just give it all to charity. That's what there are people like human beings out there that don't even have enough food to eat. They can't afford medication. And these dogs have more money than I do. The cats have more money than I do. It's disgusting. It really cheeses me off. It's not even very funny. It's just sad. It's sad. It's sad. You know what else is sad? Game of Thrones is ending this weekend. Not forever, just for like a year and a half, maybe 2 years. There's a rumor going around that they're not going to come back until like 2019. I don't want that to be the case. I want it to be back right away. I wish they just did it all. Apparently the next season, season 8, is going to be like full-length, motion picture length every single week. So that's going to be crazy. I know. Totally worth it. Love everything about it. A lot of people saying that there's going to be a Stark dying. We talked about this yesterday. But this is the thing. I have done a lot of thinking about this. I don't think Arya and Sansa are going to kill each other. I don't think that's what's going to happen. I have another theory that somebody pointed out to me that I wasn't even thinking about. Because remember how Arya went across to Bravos to become a faceless man? And then they're talking about how she's got all of her, like, her bag full of faces, and they got to be dead for her to take their face. I was reading online somebody saying that not necessarily, depending on the level of the faceless person involved. There is a chance that, remember last week when Littlefinger was talking to Sansa about getting Brienne of Tarth to like do her dirty work for her, and then Sansa sends Brienne away? Somebody was saying that might not have been Littlefinger. That might have been Arya testing Sansa. Or it might have been Arya as Sansa getting the skinny on Littlefinger. That's the thing. There's so many ridiculous things that can happen. All I want is Brienne of Tarth to hook up with Tormund Giantsbane, and they can just go off and be happy somewhere together and forget all of it. I want to watch Little House on the Prairie with Tormund Giantsbane and Brienne of Tarth out on the plains, and Tormund's just working hard, making a garden, and she's out hunting dudes for money, and they're just a happy little couple. That's all I want. That's all I want is Brienne and Tormund to end up together. And possibly Jon Snow and Daenerys to have incest. That's another thing that I'm kind of hoping. What? It's true. She's his aunt. She's his aunt. We've got to bring that pot to a boil before they can just eat it on. Because people have to learn to accept it. Right now you've got people cheering for incest on TV. That's where we are as a society. We want inbreeding on our television programs. It's okay. A lot of us come... Remember yesterday I talked about how all your ancestors were violent, horrible people? Because they were. All of you have come from incest. At some point in your family's history, one of your cousins got married. Cousins, ancestors' cousins, ancestor cousins. You come from inbreeding. That's why I'm so inbred I can't even get that sentence out properly. Moving on. Oh, look at this! This is, first of all, this is one of my favorite sketches from Kids in the Hall. And when I actually got to have Scott Thompson in the studio, I gushed huge about this sketch. Also, Dave Foley does an absolutely incredible Quebec accent in that sketch. It's just fantastic. Anyways, prostitutes are being replaced by sex dolls. Not this kind of sex doll. This kind of sex doll. I was actually reading about this brothel in Germany, and they have one of those like super high-end sex dolls, and the lady who runs the brothel says they can be used for any position, any which way, and leave every single customer satisfied. They cost $98 an hour to rent. That's $98 US an hour to rent, which is actually more expensive than some of the women in the brothel to provide their services. So, but slowly but surely, all of us are being replaced by robots. That's what's happening here. I have a feeling that it's going to be the prostitutes that are going to lead the charge against our soon-to-be robotic overlords. If the prostitutes are having their jobs taken by robots, what's to say your job can't get taken by a robot? What do? Oh, you're a lawyer? Ding dong, robot lawyers representing robot prostitutes. It's going to happen. What's sad about the article about these robotic love dolls in this brothel is that they didn't mention how they're cleaned. You know? How do you clean it? And how long of a window do you want from one customer to the next? An hour? Do you want... Dude, I wouldn't wear my friend's underwear. but you're sharing a love doll with strangers? Exactly. Madison just dry heaved. It's disgusting. Oh my God. I'm so pumped. Why? Because the Defenders, some people didn't like the Defenders. I thought it was really good. A lot of people crapped all over Iron Fist again. We get it. It's not perfect, okay? There were mistakes made in the first season of Iron Fist that they're probably going to work to correct as the show moves along. The Defenders was great. The way it ends, I'm not going to tell you how it ends. I'm just going to say the way it ends, this is not a spoiler alert, sets up Daredevil 3 for what could be perfection. Listen, I wasn't a big fan of season 1 of Daredevil. Actually, I was. The first 2 episodes I thought were so boring I didn't even really like it. But then Vincent D'Onofrio gets involved in episode 3 as the Kingpin, and he sells you on the show because he's so good and his backstory is so great. And the thing is the Kingpin is a horrible person, but you love him. You root for him because his childhood was so shitty. Like, you like him. You do. And then season 2 of Daredevil comes along, and God, that's when I fell in love with it. Season 2 of Daredevil is the best series that Marvel has done with Netflix, period. And everyone's like, oh, it's just because of the Punisher. No, it's not just because of the Punisher. There were so many great things in season 2 of Daredevil. I will say that there's that scene in Daredevil season 2 after Daredevil rescues the Punisher and he's leaning against the tombstone. The Punisher starts talking about his kids, and it made my wife bawl, like straight up just cry. And the reason is because we've all heard and then they killed my kids, so I needed to kill them kind of speech. But they take that type of monologue and they flip it. They just turn it on its head. And the way he explains, he doesn't even talk about his daughters dying. He starts talking about when he got back from Afghanistan and his kids didn't know he was home yet, and he snuck into a ballet recital, and how could something so beautiful and perfect ever come from him? And it's just like, as a parent, I hate it when people say that, but it's true. Like, there's a thing where as a parent you have this like magical feeling when you're looking at your kids of like, oh my God, that came out of my junk. That's incredible. Like, it's just, there is something magic about it. There is a miracle involved there. And I'm using that term not in a goofy way, but you feel that. I know it's dumb, but you really do have that feeling that you're connected to something a lot bigger than yourself simply because you managed to create a living human being. And when you hear him talk about it, he doesn't sell it in a cheesy way. He just delivers it perfect. And that's why I think the next season of Daredevil is going to take that bar and go up again. Why? Because they're doing Born Again. Born Again is one of the greatest comics ever done. It was like a year-long run of Daredevil, and it was written by Frank Miller, and it is just so good. It's so good. Like, here's what happens in it, and I'm not spoiling it for you because they're going to take liberties. The book has been out since 1986. It is done. Spoilers don't count at this point. Kingpin finds out. What? There's no spoilers. Kingpin finds out that Daredevil is Matt Murdock. He finds out that Daredevil is Matt Murdock. And he destroys and discredits every single thing about him. He uses all of his political connections to get all of his legal rights taken away. He manages to find ways to turn all of his friends against him, all of his allies. He destroys Daredevil. And then, as a statement, a testament to Daredevil's awesomeness, because Daredevil is, period, one of the best characters in the Marvel Universe. Not cinematics or anything. I'm talking comic books. He's just great. He's amazing. He's such a cool character because he's on the streets. He ends up living in like a homeless shelter, but he finds a way to come back, and the story ends with him beating the shit out of Kingpin. In the sense of like, you took everything away from me. Now I'm going to take everything away from you. And what's great is that Daredevil, as brutal as he ever gets to be, always has that air of genteel about him, you know? And Charlie Cox is perfect. I didn't think he was going to be a good Daredevil, I won't lie. But Charlie Cox is just perfect in that role. And I cannot wait to see how they portray Born Again on the small screen. It's going to be fantastic. So there you go. That's 3 to 5 things we didn't have time to talk about today.